and he's going to beat people with maybe better genetics because he has a better work ethic, and that's all because of his mind. No, I have never been there. Most of my training has been more Russian or Eastern Bloc training, where West Side Barbell got a lot of their principles from. That Bulgarian lifting, the Russian lifting. I started back in the 70s. So, yeah. What year did West Side Barbell start?
I don't know.
Do a search on that one. Yeah, but I started with the original guys like Doyle Kennedy, Doug Furness, and those guys. But again, Mark Bell and Matt Wenning, two beautiful humans. Beautiful humans. A lot of great lifters came out of there.
86.
86. So
Jeez.
yeah, that came out in the 80s. I was already doing powerlifting in the 70s. No, I do something much better. Martial arts has been a lifetime that I find much better for flexibility. Yoga is stationary, where martial arts puts you into extreme positions athletically instead of just stabilizing.
What do you think of Andrew Calera's 650 bench? I don't know who that is, but it's probably someone that benches 650.
A 650 bench for any humans, incredible.
Love the videos. Mike, how many working sets do you recommend per body part one time a week? Thanks, man. He trains one body part a week.
Good job on training one body part a week. We're on a couple body parts a week this training plan. This is a good one, I think.
Mike, super grateful for you. How often should you stretch?
I stretch every single day, whatever body part I'm training. So, and then days I don't stretch, I'll do active rest like swimming, stuff like that. That's for me. It depends on you and your age. I think when you're 20s, you don't need as much. Obviously, as you get older, I think try to stay more active, and not active in the sense of going out running 6 miles, but I just think more range of motion things and keep moving, because we're all going to get at some point stiff arthritis and stuff like that. And the greatest thing for it is movement. I would recommend though, trying to, and I wish I could tell my young self to give up about 20 years of those reps. You know, how I have been able to take this last 15, 20 years and extend the ability of maintaining the body without riding it into the ground. I wish I did that younger. And I'm going to be able to do that with Titan and be able to maintain that. The goal there would be like he's in the gym with everybody else for a full year, right? But the amount of reps that he did for that full year is maybe matched to everybody else's 3 months of training. So like he did a full year, but 3 months of the rep ranges of what everybody else did for the full year. So it's less deterioration and usage of those, to where he still builds the muscle, still gets the range of motion, and still stays active. That's the one thing I don't think they talk about much. They don't talk about mileage, because at the end of the day, it's mileage.
Yeah.
And that mileage adds up on no matter what you want. I was going to buy a car, the Sebring. I was going to buy something else instead of the Sebring, and I got the Ford, right?
Mm-hmm.
So after the Sebring, I was going to buy a car, and this kind of makes me think of it. I was going to buy Dudley Moore's. It was a Infinity, and I'm like, wow, that's a great car, and they wanted the price and stuff, and I'm looking at the mileage, and it was like, I don't know how many years old. It was used already, mm-hmm. But it had like 3,000 to 4,000 miles, and I'm like, it's 3 years old, 3,000 to 4,000. I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so many cars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't, you know, I was a kid. Yeah. I didn't correlate that he has 6 cars, so he only drove this a little bit. So even though it's a
Steve Mendoza, is that Steve Mendoza? Steve, the one on one client Mendoza?
Oh, it probably is.
Hey, Steve.
Big Stevie. So it was interesting to see that this car was so preserved, even though it was same age as other cars that I was looking at, but it had a quarter of the miles on it, less than a quarter. And so I think of that as the body is like, I wish I could have saved the first 20 years 30 years of less. And so I could have had more later. And again, you know, it's maybe for me, I needed those crazy training. So I had the mindset that I have now, but I'm hoping I can create the mindset in my son and his kids and so on and so forth, and the people around me, to save some of that. And for you parents out there that have kids that are lifting, try to get rid of that whole, the guy in the gym the longest wins, the guy that does the most reps wins. Try to get rid of those kind of mentalities. Age does not matter.
Oh,
I know kids that are 20 years old that are on TRT because there's something going on with their testosterone. And I know guys on their 50 that don't need TRT because their testosterone is still in 700. So again, just because of your age doesn't mean anything. So you got to check the blood. You guys got to do that.
You got to do that.
You got to do that.
You guys.
Bobo identifies as a trans slender.
He does?
Yes.
All right.
It's awesome. This isn't a, let me take this off there. When you guys do the age, understand what that's saying to me is that you're comparing yourself to society. Does that make sense to you guys? Jeffrey, you get that? Yeah. So when you say age to me, you're automatically giving yourself an excuse. So don't do that with me. You can do that with your friends or the guys at the gym. Don't do that with me. Do you understand that?
Oh yeah.
Okay, because it doesn't matter that you're 46 and you do 120s.
I agree. I never go and say, hey, you know,
I want you 46 doing 180s.
And yeah.
And I don't want you saying 46. I want you to go, listen, I want to be better than these 20-year-olds. That's what I want you to do. I just want that little mind, that little bit that you do by saying it. I don't know. For me, I think it's just, it's a cop out. You're giving yourself an excuse.
This is such a common question. What do you do for forearm training?
That's a weird one. Nobody trains forearm, guys. Nobody trains forearms.
So many people ask.
Stop training your forearms. I've met one human in my entire life, the one guy that asked it, and he did have tiny little forearms. It was weird because I said, nobody needs to train forearms. Nobody needs to train forearms.
Saw him
and then I saw him, I go, okay, you're the one human that does. But no, there's no reason to train forearms. Your hand strength and your forearms will grow just because you're grabbing onto bars and ripping them all day.
Not just like Mike talk about mental health. All this important, but I think the positivity.
Yeah, I think mental health, I mean, you can lift all you want. We were just talking about yesterday, somebody who has the potential, the best potential I've seen of somebody in the last 20, 30 years, and he blew it just because of the mental. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Mental is everything, guys. And speaking of mental, let's say somebody doesn't have the, I'm going to say Dave maybe wasn't, David, one of my tight crew members here, has a work ethic of what everybody should have. And he's going to beat people with maybe better genetics because he has a better work ethic. And that's all because of his mind. So we just saw that. I appreciate you saying that. And I'm glad that we're even living through that and seeing some people succeed while others are failing because of the mindset. Listen, I'm sitting next to.
I did chest today. You see this? See the cuts? See that going like it's a cross or something? What?
Toxic.
Look at that.